my onlinejobs.ph interview and secret techniques. Hey guys, JR Fisher here. Welcome to my channel. There's a big subscribe button down there. Don't forget to hit that, and also click the bell next to it. Turn on all notifications so you're part of the VIP Fisher family. You get notified every time I do a video or I go live. Now, the other day I was contacted by onlinejobs.ph, and I've been using them for a long time. I've hired a lot of people there, and they asked me to do an interview, so I went ahead and did it, and I'd like to share that interview with you. Now, keep in mind, I've been selling online since 2009, and I've sold millions of dollars of both digital and physical products. And the one thing I think really helped me was having some really good assistants. And if you're thinking about hiring somebody on one of these other sites, whether it's Elance or Odesk or whatever the heck it is, I got to tell you, onlinejobs.ph is probably one of the best sites to use if you have need for a full-time person. I'm talking 20 hours or more a week. Now, we've hired a lot of people on onlinejobs.ph. They really like them. And this interview is me and their marketing director. So what I want to do is just go to the interview, let you listen to the interview. It gives you a lot of the tips and techniques that I use so that you can get good results too. So don't forget also, I do have a $97 course that's below. All you gotta do is click and learn. It's a free course. You want to grab that. I also have a link to onlinejobs.ph where you can get some discounts. So if you're going to sign up for an account with onlinejobs.ph, you're going to want to use that link below here. Don't just go directly to the site, use my link below. All right, thank you so much. Let's go ahead and jump in the interview, and I'll be back with you in just a few.
So I'm sure that things are booming for you right now.
Oh my God, it's like six-figure days,
Wow.
I had Shark Tank call me the other day. They wanted me on the show there. I've had my college newspaper interview me and write an article on me.
Hey, it's Shalane from onlinejobs.ph here for John Jonas, and today we are really excited to have JR Fisher with us. How's it going, JR?
It is going amazing. It's a little strange because of the pandemic, but outside of that, it's going pretty well.
Glad to hear it. Glad to hear it. JR is the CEO of Survivalcave Food. He's also an author and an educator, and produces incredible amounts of content at jrfishertrading.com and on his YouTube channel. I honestly, when I was learning more about you, that just blew my mind, how much content you're able to pump out, especially the free content. Tell us a little bit about your business and what you do and what you're here to teach us.
Sure. Actually, it's jrfisher.com, not JR Fisher Training. My YouTube channel is JR Fisher Training. I actually got started selling online. I started with cell phone cases first, and I failed at it. I was miserable. I didn't make any money whatsoever. And then I moved into camping equipment. And then some guy called me one day, and he said he had this survival food. He wanted me to sell this freeze-dried food. And I'm like, yeah, I'll sell anything. It didn't matter to me. So I started selling that, and we did really well. And there were some world events where our sales really, increased. We were doing like 4,000 a month, then 20,000, then 60, and we got up to like 80,000 a month. And I thought, wow, this is great. And I went in and quit my job. I was in the automotive industry, got a little tiny warehouse, and within a few weeks, they stopped shipping to my customers. And I was on eBay, and I had like 300 listings on eBay, and we were still going out to like gun shows and selling at gun shows and all that. We were leaving one day for a trip to North Carolina. We were in Virginia at the time, and I looked down at my phone, and I had no listings on eBay. And I'm like, how can I have no listings? So I contacted them, and they were like, yeah, we also took $20,000 out of your account because you're not shipping on time. And we removed all your listings. And I was like, wow. And I didn't have a job. So I was like, well, what do I do now? And I decided that since that company couldn't ship anymore, they got overloaded. They just literally couldn't ship. They were taking my money, but they wouldn't ship anything to my customers. So I said, well, maybe I'll come up with my own product line. So I came up with the idea of Survivalcave. I had Survivalcave as my website, and I just added the word food to it. So I called it Survivalcave Food because I was just selling camping equipment, then moved into that. And I found a company to manufacture it. And then I thought, well, it'll be really easy. I can just put up a website and people will buy my stuff. And I didn't know anything about SEO. I didn't know anything about traffic. I didn't know anything about, this is like 2010. And so nobody came to the site, nobody bought it. And I'm sitting in my office one day going, well, I got a problem. Because all these other sites, they have all this traffic and all these people going there, and I've got nothing. So I thought, oh, and a little light bulb went off. I'm like, what if my product was on their site? What if I could get them to sell my stuff because they already have traffic? So I got on the phone and I made, 200 phone calls. And I sent out a few thousand emails and I got 0 results, but I came in the next day and did the same thing. And then finally got a couple sites, and then I got a couple more. And now if you Google Survivalcave food, you'll find it on literally millions of spots right now. I think it's about 23 million results for Survivalcave food. So I actually got them to sell my product, and which is pretty much true today. About 85% of our sales are through other websites. And we've had them on everything from Sears and Walmart, and I mean, all kinds of different sites, camping sites. And then to take a little bit further down the road, I had a lot of people start saying, well, you made money online. How did you do it? So I started helping some friends and family members. And one day somebody says, why don't you charge for that? I'm charged for what? And they were like, charge to teach people. I'm like, well, I don't know anything about teaching people. And they were like, well, yeah, make a course. So the people at ClickBank got together with me, and ClickBank is an affiliate marketplace. And I put a course together called Digital Cash Academy, where it taught people how to sell stuff online. That went off pretty well. We ended up doing like 6 figures in 72 hours on that course. And then I came out with another course on Facebook ads, which is Facebook Ads University. And I came up with Web Cash Academy, which is a course where I was actually teaching businesses local here in San Diego, and we filmed that. Then I came up with Ecom Road, which is another course. Then I came up with email earning systems. And then I started doing coaching, and then the YouTube channel. So basically my whole business was because of a bunch of mistakes, really. And I use onlinejobs.ph because that's the only way I can do any of this stuff. Matter of fact, right after I had talked to you yesterday, I guess through email, I was talking to my, I don't know, I just call them team members. I don't call them VAs or anything like that, because I think we all kind of work together. You know, I don't look at them as they're an employee and I'm the boss, because that's like silly, because he knows stuff I don't know and I know stuff he doesn't know, and it just kind of works out. You know, I use onlinejobs.ph. I've been using them for several years now. I've got great results. And I couldn't have grown my business without it, seriously. And I have people in other countries that I don't use onlinejobs.ph for, but onlinejobs.ph, it's a whole lot easier for me to verify what I've got in advance. You know, if I go to one of these other job sites, I'm not going to give them any cred by saying who they are. But if I went to one of those sites, you don't really know, because they're not vetted the way they are on onlinejobs.ph. It's a whole different thing. And on onlinejobs.ph, they worry about what their rating is. So they act a little bit different, you know. With the other sites, they worry, but not so much. It's not that big of a deal, you know. So yeah, that's my whole story in a nutshell.
No, that's great. That's great. And we're going to go into detail a little bit more in a minute with how you work with your VAs, how you manage them, how you train them. I've got some questions for you, though, about your business. So I noticed a theme when I was reviewing some of your content, and you just shared with me that you were a single dad when you were putting this together. Do you mind talking about that a little?
Oh yeah, no, that was a nightmare, but yeah, it worked out. Both my kids are grown.
Working from home and creating this and experiencing failure.
Well, I would tell you, I'm literally excited over failure now, because I've never had a failure or a problem where it didn't turn into something even better. I mean, almost every single time. It's amazing. You know, like when I got a divorce, I got both my kids. I'm like, oh my God, this is terrible. And it really turned out great, because I spent a lot of time with them. We have a great relationship now. One lives in Florida now, and I live in San Diego, and one lives in Wise, Virginia, and he's finishing his school there. And I talk to them every single day. They're like my best friends. And I don't think that relationship would have been there like that had I had a wife around, you know. And then the funny thing is, as they were growing up, I finally met at work my wife, who I've been with now for 10 years. And she's great, and she gets along with them, and she works in my business. So, you know, failures are just awesome. I mean, they really are. And I'll give you a real quick example. I was going to one of my warehouses in Ohio a few years back, and I have my car parked in the street. My wife's car is parked in the driveway, and we're going to take her car. And we walk outside, and her car's gone. And I looked at her, and I said, well, your car's stolen. Let's take my car. And she says, how do you know it's stolen? I said, because it ain't there. It's really pretty simple. And she's like, are you sure? I said, oh, no, I'm sure. She's like, well, this is terrible. I said, no, it's great. She goes, well, how do you figure it's great? I had like 15,000 miles on it. I mean, it's almost brand new. I said, I don't know yet, but when I get back, we'll figure it out, and it'll be great. And sure enough, when I got back, we talked to the insurance company, and they gave us way more than what the car was worth. And we got her a much nicer car, and it all worked out. And I'm like, see, there you go. So it's really, you know, when you run into obstacles, you know, and I think some of the biggest examples are people like Elon Musk. I mean, he looked out there in the market and said, hey, people want electric cars that go fast and that charge up easily and that can go real far. That's an opportunity. you know, and I was in the automotive industry, and the executives at the big companies never looked at it that way. They were like, no, that's competition. We don't want that. So he's gotten out there and he's eating their lunch. And I know I bought their stock at $167, and I think yesterday it was $750. So, you know, it's like every time there's a problem, seriously, and it takes years, like, because when I was 25, I didn't realize that. If I could grab a 25-year-old now and go, listen to me, really, problems are awesome. You know, it's like the huge opportunity, like the pandemic right now, big opportunity for a lot of people. I mean, our courses on how to make money at home right now are doing great. I mean, that's a big opportunity for us. My survival food, obviously, doing great. So anytime there's a problem, somewhere in there, there's an opportunity. So that's kind of how I look at it, you know?
So good. So good. I read something a couple months ago that said, after the breakdown comes the breakthrough. Yeah. So I love to find that theme over and over, because I think that we discount that a lot, especially in business, that we think of failures as defeat versus opportunity. So yeah, I always love to hear other people's reflection on that and see how it affected you and your business. So how many students do you have right now, if you were to just guess, in your various teaching courses?
Thousands and thousands and thousands. Yeah, I couldn't even guess that. We've sold so many courses, and I've done coaching. I was literally doing coaching for businesses for a while, but it took up a lot of my time. But I was charging $2,000 an hour. I had $1 billion company that was paying me to, you know, teach them how to do marketing online. And it's so funny, because when I started my business and I told everybody I was going to sell stuff online, they were like, "You can't type. You know, you don't know how to send an email. What are you insane?" I'm like, "No, I know, but I figured I could learn some of it." They're like, "No, you don't know anything about technology. You know nothing. This is not for you." And that was literally the response I got from everybody. I remember having a neighbor come over to my house because she was helping me with my kids one time when I was at work, and I had a bunch of trinkets and crap I was selling online. They were in my laundry room. And she looked at all the stuff. She goes, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm trying to sell stuff on eBay." And she's like, "No, you're never going to be able to do that." So it's funny now when somebody pays me $2,000 an hour to, you know, get advice. I'm like, that's so funny. It's like, because I still can't type, by the way. I have not gotten good at that.
You can outsource that. You can outsource that.
But what I did figure out is, you know, nowadays, it doesn't matter what you want to know. If you want to know how to do heart surgery, you could go to YouTube and pull up videos on heart surgery. And though you may not be authorized to do it, you could learn how to do heart surgery. There's nothing you can't learn online. Nothing. MIT has free courses online. You can literally go through their curriculum. And I just did a video on this where you can go through their entire college curriculum and learn it all online for free. I mean, and just watch. I mean, it's insane.
What's your favorite thing to teach? With everything that's out there and everything that you teach, what's your favorite?
I don't think it's a thing. I think it's a result. I think if I can teach somebody that they can make money from their laptop at a Starbucks and quit their job and be able to spend time with their friends and family and travel, which one day we'll be allowed to do again, and, you know, actually go out to a dinner they want and wear the clothes they want and drive the car they want and live where they want, that's the thing for me. So it doesn't matter which direction we go with that, if it's a digital product or physical product. Once somebody realizes that they can make some money online, you can multiply it over and over and over again. And, you know, I remember the first time I sold something online, I made $10. And I came running into the living room and I was telling my kids, and they were little at the time. I think they were like 8 and 12. And I'm like, "I just sold something online." They were like, "Really? How much did you make?" I said, "Well, I sold $10. And they were like, "Really?" I said, "No, but you don't understand. If I did it once, I could do it again and again and again." They were like, "Okay." And they didn't get it at the time, but because their allowance were more than that. But the point was, I figured out that somebody actually sent me money through a computer. I thought that was really cool. I thought it was amazing. I'm like, this is the coolest thing in the world, because I didn't grow up with computers. I'm like, for somebody to send me money online, it's insane. They don't even know me.
So with the success, this is where we're gonna shift gears, start talking about outsourcing. What is your personal favorite thing to do with the freedom that you create through outsourcing? You know, where you're not micromanaging every single process and editing every video and whatever else you're outsourcing. What's your favorite thing to do with your free time?
Travel, really. I was in 7 countries last year. I was on 2 cruises. I've been to, you know, Bangkok. I've been to all over Mexico, Caribbean. And the cool thing is, no matter where I'm at, I can work. And I want to add one thing about outsourcing, though, because I know a lot of people, they say, "Well, I can do this, so I don't need somebody else to do it." It's not a matter if you can do it. It's a matter of what you could do if you weren't doing it. So, you know, I can edit my videos. That's not a problem. but I have a video editor. And I have a video editor because number one, he's better at it. Okay, that's just hands down, he's better at it. But number two is it's really time consuming. And on onlinejobs.ph, you can hire somebody at a lower amount. Like, I'm worth more than, whatever per hour. I know I can make $2,000 an hour. And if I can pay somebody less than what I'm worth, wouldn't it make sense to pay somebody? And I think that's the one thing people shy away from. And they go, well, gee, I don't want to spend money on that. I could do that myself and save that money. You're not saving anything. Because if you're paying somebody less than what your hourly value is, and you got to pick whatever that is, then you're making money. As long as you actually work with that time. If you just sit in your lounge chair and watch Netflix, of course not. But you've got to get that in your head that if you're paying somebody to do something that is a lower value than what your hourly wage is or what you put on your hourly wage, it's a good investment. It really is. Not to mention the fact that it lets you do the creative stuff, which you can't outsource. I can't outsource, hey, come up with some new courses for me. I guess I technically have somebody write some stuff, but the creativity part, you can't outsource. And if you're an entrepreneur, you should be creative in some form or fashion. If you're not, then you can't be an entrepreneur because you can't create anything. But if you've got that creative thing in your mind where you're thinking of ideas, you need to outsource.
Absolutely. So who else? We know you've got a video editor working for you. How many VA team members, I like that you just call them team members. You don't refer to them as anything other than what you'd refer to your local workers. How many team members in the Philippines do you have working for you right now, and what do they do?
Various things. I don't want to say the number, but various things. Everything from like social media. I'm not a social media person. I know how to do it, but I don't want to do it. So, every day they post my videos on my pages, on my groups. I have a couple different groups. I have an inner circle that people pay monthly to be a member of. I have another one called the Art of E-commerce Success, where people get access to through some of my courses. And they post in there for me the videos that I've done. So I have video editing, I have social media stuff. I have people who do more technical type things, kind of boring stuff, but more technical types things like working on websites and WordPress stuff. There's so many areas that you can outsource. Now, I will tell you, there's two ways to outsource, and you got to be really careful with this. A lot of people say, well, I'll just go hire a bunch of people to do everything for me, and I'll sit back and do nothing. And that doesn't work. Number one, you can't manage what you don't know. That's a big thing I see people do, and they'll say, well, I'm going to hire somebody to do SEO for me, and they don't know how to do SEO, so how are you going to know if they did it right? So number one is you got to learn whatever it is, because you can't manage somebody. And on top of that, if you don't know it, you can't manage it because you can't tell them what you expect of them. You can't say, well, I want you to do video editing, and I want you to do some zoom ins and zoom outs, and I want you to put some music in it. A lot of people will hire somebody on Online Jobs or any of these websites, and they don't give them clear direction. And then they're upset because they didn't get the result they wanted. I'm like, well, you didn't tell them what to do. It's like, if you don't know it, you can't manage it. And if you don't tell them, you can't expect anything. You got to just get what you get. So, that's the one thing I tell you. And then the other outsourcing I do is for stuff I literally can't do. We have a Magento website, and it's pretty high level programming type stuff. And I know essentially what needs to be done, and I know how long it should take. So when I find somebody I trust, I have one person that's been working for me for 5 years now. All they do is work on my Magento projects as I need them. And it's really high level stuff. So that's the other type of person you're going to hire. But even if you hire that type of person and you don't know how to do it, you should at least know what it should pay and how long it should take, and the basics of it, or you can't manage it. So I think that's the biggest problem is people hire people, they don't know how to manage them because they haven't given them expectations. So I think that's a big thing.
Establishing expectations.
Yeah.
So do you have any favorite tools that you use online to train or to manage your workers? Do you have systems in place that
Yes, definitely.
Share?
First off, if it's on-screen type work that I expect somebody to do, like entering in orders, okay? I have somebody right now entering in orders from one website to another website, and it's pretty difficult, to get it all right. I make a video of, I have somebody in the office makes a video of that exact process. You click here, you do this, you click here, you do this, and then all those steps are written out on a sheet so that they can check off each one. Well, I did this, I did this, I did this, I did this. And we know how long it takes to enter an order, how many minutes it takes. So literally we know, that exact job. And then what I do is I use a thing called Kartra. Kartra is my online marketing software. I love it. I'm not giving a plug, but I would. They're really great people. They have a membership site in there where I put my courses in there where people pay for membership, but I also put my training videos in there. So like when somebody comes to work for us and I say, hey, I want you to do these jobs, here's the training videos. Kartra will monitor when they log in and how far into a video they watched. So I know if they went through the training or not. So it makes it really super easy for me to do that. So Kartra is a big thing I use. And Kartra is also email provider. They're also a sales page maker. They're also landing pages. You know, they integrate with WordPress. I mean, it's everything for me. And I've been, I don't want to get too much on that, but I've been through a lot of different, Infusionsofts and Awebers and MailChimps and Constant Contacts, and it's way better than all those. So I give them a little plug every now and then just because they're good.
That's great. No, we just want to know what works and be able to share it with people so they can do it too. Would you mind running through what your system is, how you find the right people, and how you hire the right person the first time?
First off, it's a great site and it does a lot of the work for you because you don't have a lot of low-end people on there. If they're low-end people, they're going to be rated as such, and you're just not going to look for them. The first thing is posting a job with specifics. I think that's really important. That way that people know what's expected of them. I think it's a real shame. A lot of times somebody will get hired and you'll say, well, I want a social media person. Okay, but what are they going to do? So I mean, I'm real specific. I say, I want you to work in Facebook and Twitter and Instagram, and I want you to do this many posts a day, and I want you to edit this many videos, and I want you to have experience, 3 months, 6 months, whatever it is. And I want you to have a rating of this. And I want you to have, whatever level proficiency of English. Like some don't need a high level of proficiency of English. They just don't need it because they're not talking to people like mine don't. As long as they can communicate with me, I'm fine. And also tell them, what hours is to be expected of them. I personally don't care when they work. It doesn't matter to me as long as the work gets done. So, you got to be cognizant of the fact that you're in different time zones. And people can't always be at your beck and call, at 8 o'clock in the morning Eastern time when it's not that time in the Philippines. Now, if you need somebody like that, let them know that up front. So don't hire somebody and then say, hey, now I need you at 8 o'clock in the morning. They'd be like, well, that's 3 a.m. here. I can't do that. I have 2 kids. All right. So once you do that and you do your job post, then I actively go out and I look in onlinejobs.ph and I try to find people that would match that. And I send them an invitation for that particular job. And then I get all those people. I like to talk to them. My first meeting, I like to talk to them on camera where I can actually see them. I think that makes some kind of connection. You don't always have to do that afterwards. Like I talk to Billy all the time, talk to him several times a day. And we never, pull up the camera because, we've been working together for almost a year. So anyhow, we do that. We check them out. Now, I also like to give them a little task before I hire them. And I'll say, hey, do this particular thing, whether it's, edit one video or something like that. Now, I will tell you, there are dishonest people out there, and I see it, and I really hate it because I saw something with Instacart the other day with this. It really made me mad. But what they'll do is they'll find somebody and say, hey, do this task for me to see how good you're doing it. And they have no intent of hiring somebody. They're just trying to get a free task done. That's like really wrong. It's going to come back and bite you, I promise. I saw this on Instacart the other day, and that's the grocery delivery thing. Are you familiar with that? People were putting like a huge tip on the app and saying, hey, go get my groceries. I'm going to give you this huge tip. And then once the groceries got delivered, they zeroed it out and they took away the people. And I was like, what kind of human being would do that? I was so angry. I actually posted it online and I was like, there are a-holes out there. So anyhow, don't do that.
In the context of what we're living in right now.
Yeah, I'm like, God knows. But anyhow, so give them a task that's going to take them, 15 minutes or something. Don't give them a task that's going to take 6 hours. They don't have time to do free work for you. But I like to get an example of what they can do. And if they don't, if you don't do that even, ask them if they have examples. A lot of people who are video editors, they can say, well, here's the videos I've edited. Let me send those to you. And that's fine too. That works for me. I can kind of see what their skills are and what they did. I then like to have a really in-depth interview with them. And when I say in-depth, I let them know how I'm going to deal with them and how they should deal with me. I let them know up front that if they run into a problem, and this is one thing I found about the Filipino workers, if they run into a problem, they feel really bad about it. Okay, so I like to hit all those points right up front. And I'll say, like Billy, when I was interviewing Billy, I said, hey, if you've got a problem, it's no big deal because I screw up too. Let them know that you're not perfect, because you're not. I don't care who you are listening to this, you're not perfect. And if you screw up, it's not a big deal. It's just something we got to fix. Come to me, let me know. I'm here to help you. You're like, and I tell them, I said, you're like a family member to me. And I care about you. And when you say stuff like that, you got to really mean it. Like, I know Billy, and I know his wife, and I know his kid. And I mean, I literally know their family. And I'll ask about them, when I'm talking to them. And you should. And I did the same thing when I was in the automotive business, because if people just say, oh, yeah, I'm part of the family, but you don't even know who my family is. I mean, it sounds like BS. Also understand that, and can I get into how I manage them? Is that okay?
Absolutely.
Okay, so when you're managing them, I require that every day I get an email. And in that email, I'm very specific. I'm going to say, like, how many people joined this group? How many videos did you edit? How many posts did you do? What are the posts that you did do? I never allow them to say, I'm working on this project. Working means nothing. It's only completed. What did you complete today? What did you get done today? You should be working every day, but working is not a task, okay? A task completed is a task completed. Did you post a video? Did you edit a video? Don't say, I'm working on editing this video. It makes no sense. Also understand that they have different holidays. So you got to be real aware of their holidays, and you have to respect them. Just because in the US, maybe we try to work 70 hours a week or something, you can't expect somebody in another country to do the same thing that you would do. That's a big mistake. So understand that, they're going to need sick time off. Like, Billy gets sick every now and then, probably more than he should. I don't know. But I've never docked him for that, because overall, if I don't, when he comes back, he's going to work that much harder. So don't worry about every nickel and dime. I mean, you're getting a good deal anyhow, when you're hiring somebody there. And that's another thing about getting a good deal. Don't try to be the cheapest person. Don't go, I want to pay somebody $1 an hour. I would say pay on the higher end. It's going to do a couple things. It's going to make somebody a little bit more loyal to you, and you're going to attract better people. You're already paying a little bit less than the US anyhow, but if you pay on the higher end, you're going to get a much more loyal employee. And the next thing I would say, and Billy's going to see this. Hey, Billy. He's been with me for less than a year, and he's already gotten 2 raises and some bonuses. So, make sure that you give them raises. Don't set somebody like, I got somebody at, $2 an hour and that's all I'm ever going to pay. That's like the worst thing in the world, because they don't see any future in it. Make sure that you pay them more, like on a regular basis. I'll review. And if he's doing better, I'm going to give him a bigger raise. Like I think a week or two ago, I gave him a raise, and it was double the raise what I told him, because he was doing a good job, and he had screwed up a little bit before that, but hey, what? Everybody does, So make sure you're paying your people well and you're taking care of them. Specifically, they know what to do. If you change their duties from doing one thing to another, like he's working on SEO now, and he didn't work on SEO before, but I got him a course on SEO so he could go through the course and learn how to do it so he could educate himself. I didn't just say, hey, you're going to do SEO now, because that's ridiculous. He doesn't know how to do it. When he finished the course, that's when his raise went into effect. I'm like, when you finish this course, even though you haven't done anything yet, I'm going to give you a raise just for getting through the course. So little things like that matter so much. And then there's the 13th month, which he's coming up on that. Understand that in the Philippines, after a year, they get a month's salary, which is the way it is, okay? And that's accepted there. It may not be so in the US, but you're not hiring in the US. You guys have a really good blog on there, and I went through it all before I started hiring there, because I'm like, okay, how do I manage these people?
I can tell you've got so much good stuff to share, and it's coming from experience. I'm loving it.
Yeah, and it does matter. And, I'm very gentle with the way I talk to people in the Philippines, which I was in the automotive business in the US, and I wasn't always gentle. But it's a different mindset. It's a different group of people. They're very family oriented. They're going to want to spend time with their family. And if you're expecting somebody to work 6-7 days a week and not do that, then you're hiring from the wrong place.
This is what I love, because this is what I'm hearing from you, is that your whole training, management, business relationship with these team members in the Philippines is based on trust, which is established by respecting their culture, paying them what they're worth, and showing them that they are worth it to you, that they're adding value to your business, training them well and establishing your expectations so they can meet it. And then one of the biggest things I love is having that open relationship of, come talk to me if you have an issue, because you talk to anyone with experience. There's a cultural context in the Philippines where if they get embarrassed because they don't know how to do something, it overlaps with their desire to please and do good work for you and be motivated to be there for you, that they will they will disappear on occasion, and just there's no way to get in touch with them. They won't respond to emails, and it all stems in that lack of trust. But if you've established that trust from the get-go, like you're saying, you don't even have to worry about it. I mean, that's the number one thing that we see from our users, the number one issue that gets run into. And that's how you prevent it. So it's so great to see that manifest in another context than in our personal experience. Just thank you.
And that trust thing is a funny thing. I know on Online Jobs, it's got this like time watch. Literally, you could see when they were logged in, how long they were working, all that. And I never used it because I thought, wow, that's like, somebody looking over your shoulder, because I got to be honest with you, I don't work 100% of the time when I'm at work. So it's like if you've got to use that to tell if somebody's working or not, that just screams, I don't trust you. I mean, that's what that says. I don't trust you. So I never wanted to use it for that reason, because I want them to know I do trust them. And I know they're not perfect. And I know sometimes maybe they're going to take a 2-hour lunch and not be working. I know it. It's okay. But you know what? If I know it and they know it, they're going to get the work done overall. And that's all I care about. I don't want to monitor somebody's life. They work with me. I don't own them. I just don't, and if they know that I honestly, genuinely care, which I do, because they're humans just like me, we're no different. I mean, it's like, because you live in the US, you were dealt a pretty good, cards in life. And, because somebody else wasn't, doesn't make them any less than you. So it drives me nuts when people say, well, those people, there's no difference. Everybody's the same. I don't even care what your job is. Everybody's the same. And as soon as you realize that, you're going to start treating people better. As soon as you treat people better, you get really good results. I mean, if you treat them really good and give them respect, you're just going to get great results. So that's what I found that works the best is, and I don't mean be a pushover and let people never work. And I'm not saying that, but give them expectations and, give them the freedom to do it. It's really that simple.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your time and all of your insight. I mean, this has just been gold. Do you have anything else any other advice or anything else you'd like to leave with us? Anything about your business?
I don't want to tell my business, though it's a great channel. Check it out, J.R. Fisher Training on YouTube or jrfisher.com. But I will tell you this, when you think you're saving money by not hiring other people, or, I know Online Jobs charges a fee a month, it's well worth it, because, I think you guys are like $69 or something like that. I mean, you're not going to spend anything on your business. How far do you think you're going to get not spending anything? You look at the most successful people in the world, whether it's a Steve Jobs or Elon Musk or whatever, they hire the best people they can friggin' find, man. The best people they can find. And if you just go out and hire people who are good at what they do and they free you up to actually run your business, it's like the best move in the world to do. And with Online Jobs, you can do it so inexpensively. And God, I really do recommend it. I'm no BS. I mean, you contacted me because I did a video on you guys, but I really mean it. I really feel that. And if somebody else uses it and they watch this video and they get good results, all the better, it really is. It's good for the people in the Philippines. It's good for me here. And I know I'm doing it right because one of my VAs or employees called me the other day and they were like, hey, a lot of my friends lost their job because of the pandemic. Can you hire these people? So he wanted to bring those people to come work for me, and I couldn't. But the point was he thought enough of our company to want to send his friends to us. And I think that's a real compliment. So if you're doing that and people are happy with you and they like you and you're getting good results, spend the money. I mean, seriously, don't be so cheap.
Well, thank you. Thank you for that. We feel that way too, because we see it happen over and over and over, but it's so great to be able to connect with faces and stories and really hear about it. So thank you for your time today. Thank you for sharing with us. And
sure.
We appreciate it so much.
Oh, no problem whatsoever.
Again, that was J.R. Fisher from jrfisher.com and also the CEO of Survivalcave Foods. If you want to learn more about his business, you can head over there. If you want to learn more about how to find success outsourcing to the Philippines like he did, we can help you out at onlinejobs.ph.
Okay guys, so that's the end of the interview. I hope you enjoyed it. We covered a lot of information, and I think if you put a lot of these techniques into place, you will have better results with the people you hire. It will be easier to manage them, and you'll have a better relationship. And that's what it's all about. We're all equal in the world. Okay. I don't want you to think, because you're hiring somebody, you're better than that person. You're not better than that person. It doesn't work that way in the world. Without that person, you probably couldn't get to where you need to be. And I know I really appreciate all the people that work with me, and I say with me, not for me, because we all work together to reach a common goal. Onlinejobs.ph is a great site to go to. I'm putting a link below there where you can get some discounts if you want to hire people on that site. I highly recommend it. I'm also putting a link below to a $97 course I have. It's absolutely free, no credit card required. All you have to do is click the link and learn. Very simple. If you haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Seriously, you need to hit that button there. You need to hit that subscribe button, and don't forget bell notifications. Don't forget to turn on all notifications. This is really important, because if I do a video and you subscribe and you haven't turned on all notifications, you won't know. I mean, it could be sitting there for weeks and months and getting all dusty, right? And you don't see that video. It's just, when you get there, it's going to be this big dusty video, and you don't want that. You want the clean, shiny videos. And the way you're going to get the clean, shiny videos is you're going to turn on all notifications. Don't forget to do that. If you have any questions, put them below. Thank you so much for watching. Give me a thumbs up if you would, and put your comments in the comment section down there if you have any questions about this. I'll see you in the next video.